And we are live once again. Hello, everyone, and do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome once again to Sober Talk Live. Oh my goodness, I took yesterday off from streaming, but Princess Faye opened up and did some streaming on the channel, and y'all hung out with her, and it was good. It was good. But we're going to do a Sober Talk Live today. The schedule is going to end up getting jockeyed around a little bit, but it'll be all right because we're going to have a good time regardless. All right. Normally we don't jockey around Sober Talk, but unfortunately we kind of have to jockey around Sober Talk. Hey. Uh-oh. Is that any better? It could just be the internet's kind of acting up here, kind of getting caught up to everything. It kind of does that in the early stages of my live streams. There we go. Hey, what's going on, Mike? We got Jesse Johnson. My goodness, we got all sorts of you in here. Well, welcome to the live, guys. Appreciate y'all being here. Hey, think different. Okay, let me get y'all caught up to speed. We kind of had to jockey around Sober Talk. Normally, hey, what's going on, Queen Bee? Normally, Sober Talk is usually on Thursdays, but we're going to end up probably doing we're going to be doing we're going to be live streaming, changing out some brakes on Project Lena. The rear brake pads are toast. And they're dragging real bad, and we don't want them to tear up the rotor. So we're going to be doing that today and tomorrow. And Friday, who knows what we're going to get into Friday. But we had to kind of move Sober Talk up so we could do some DIY stuff because that DIY stuff keeps the cars on the road in this case. So we're going to show you guys how to change some brake pads out or anything like that. Hopefully we get it done pretty quickly between now. Well, I know I'm taking Princess Faye to work tomorrow and all of that, and we're going to work it out. What kind of we're going to ceramic brake pads for the rear brakes, no longer using those metallics. That and AutoZone's got them reasonably. Yeah, I know. I'm familiar with it wouldn't be the first time I've worked out in the cold, and Princess Faye's done it with me. Hey, what's going on, Sean? All right, before we really start getting too terribly far into this, let me go get you caught up to speed. Yeah, I prefer the ceramics. The let's see, the part 7 for the Legend of Zelda series. Hey, the amazing LSB. The part 7 for the Legend of Zelda is actually going through. Oh, yeah, to keep the wheels a lot cleaner. We'll be doing that to Spirit sometime next year because we're probably going to go ahead and finish out this year with Spirit's original inline 6, and then we're going to be starting to look at doing a V8 swap for Spirit. So we're going to be doing a lot of stuff to good old Spirit too. But right now we got to take care of Lena. She's needing some TLC. She needs new catalytic converters, and of course, she also needs. We're wanting to do a complete brake job, front and back, where we even go so far as changing out the wheel bearings, everything. You know, no playing around. Basically, she's going to be moving away from factory into the world of custom. That's the plan. Princess Feia. Oh, really? Okay, so yeah, I kind of figured that somebody. I'm sorry, Queen. I thought, yeah, Princess Faye was doing some artwork, and that might be a thing for a little while where she does artwork on Mondays while I'm just editing. I'm hoping Gamerin makes it in tonight because I had a question for him. I got a really awesome question. Um, all right. So this is Sober Talk Live. Let me tell you all something. I had a miracle happen to me today. I woke up this morning and I found it not necessary to take a drink. And any day that happens, That is still a miracle. Hey, Harold's random videos. I'm telling y'all, if y'all not had a chance to see my boy Harold, he's a nice guy. Avery, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for coming in and dropping that nice subscription to us. Well, thank you, Avery. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for allowing me to inspire you. If I inspire anyone, Jesse, let me say right now, one day is the hardest day to get. That first day is the hardest to get. That's the hardest one to get. Be careful with that sub word. I mean, I know what and I appreciate that, but unfortunately, YouTube is getting sensitive about that stuff. Hi, honey.
Getting ready for the new stove.
Okay, baby. I love you. Are you?
I'm so frustrated.
I know. I know you're frustrated. We'll get it all taken care of. Okay. It might take us a couple of days, but we'll get it all taken care of. All right. All righty. Well, again, it's so good to see you all here. Thank you all for being here. Harold, when are you going to be streaming next, Harold? Because I need to get over and see you. I need to come over and hang out one of your streams sometime. Because I know you guys come over here all the time. I need to get over there and see you.
Who needs kitty therapy?
Hey, we all need kitty therapy. Oh, hush up, Galaxy. Everyone around the world loves you to pieces. Don't act like you don't appreciate that attention. All right. It is so good to see you all. All right. Real quick, I wanted to share some. Oh, everyone's saying hi. And Queen says she's sorry she missed your drawing stream.
Don't worry, there will be more. Pay attention to Faye for a little while because I think I might be doing some streaming.
Oh, Princess Faye. That doesn't surprise me. Real quick, Princess Faye says she's going to start streaming on her channel. Okay.
Just drawing stuff.
Just drawing stuff. Nothing super crazy like we do. But very relaxed, very chill. So guys, watch for that. All right.
There will be music requests taken for that too. It'll be a no mic music request. So.
Ooh, no mic music request. Okay.
Okay. I'm done bothering you. Bye. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Love you.
Harold, make sure you know. Make sure you know. Hey, what's going on? Filming the ultimate grave taker. It's so good to see you all here. We're here. And we're going to talk about sobriety and we're going to have a good time. Good time. Thank you for sharing me out. Thank you for sharing me out. I was going to show you guys something very special. Well, I was going to read something very special for you guys. Hey, Gotons. Welcome to the live. We're going to talk about sobriety. Good to see you all. My goodness. So many wonderful people coming in here to talk, to listen to me yap about sobriety. And share the positive vibes of being sober this day. That's what it's all about. Living sober. And I enjoy living sober. It's just, hey, Gavin John, my goodness, so many wonderful people coming in. Oh my goodness, it's good to see you all. My goodness. All right. Well, my first sponsor, and again now current sponsor all over again, that's kind of a story in itself, gave me this bookmark, and he'd had it for years and he got it at a convention. So then he turns around and he gives it to me, and I've had it probably now 14 years. Babe the Pig, welcome to the live. I was actually just getting ready to something very special. All right, so this here is that bookmark, and for those of us in Alcoholics Anonymous, you'll appreciate this. It goes, "Why We Were Chosen," which basically talks about why us alcoholics were chosen to get sober and that sort of thing. You guys are going to really appreciate this. God, in his wisdom, selected this group of men and women to be purveyors of his goodness. In selecting them through whom to bring this phenomenon, he went to not the proud, the mighty, the famous, or the brilliant. He instead went to the humble, to the sick, the unfortunate. He went right to the drunkard. The so-called weakling of the world, well, he might have said to us, "Unto you weak and feeble hands, I have entrusted a power beyond estimate. To you have been given that which has been denied the most learned of your fellows, not to the scientist or the statesman, not to the wives or mothers, not even to my priests or ministers have I given this gift of healing other alcoholics, which I have entrusted to you. It must be used unselfishly. It carries with it grave responsibility. No day be too long, no demand upon your time can be too urgent. No case be too pitiful, no task be too hard, no effort too great. It must be used with tolerance, for I have restricted its application to no race, creed, or denomination. Personal criticism you must expect. Lack of appreciation will be common. Ridicule will be your lot. Your motives will be misjudged. You must be prepared for adversity, for what men call adversity is the ladder which you use to ascend the rungs towards spiritual perfection. And remember, in this exercise of this power, I shall not exact from you beyond your capabilities. You were not selected because of exceptional talents. You must be careful always to, if success attends your efforts, not to ascribe to personal superiority that which you can lay claim only by my virtue of my gift. If I wanted learned men to accomplish this mission, the power would have been entrusted to the physician and the scientist. If I wanted eloquent men, there would have been many anxious for the assignment. To talk to the easiest used, for talk is the easiest used of all talents which I have endowed mankind. If I had wanted scholarly men, the world is failed with better qualified men than you would be available. You were selected because you have been the outcast of the world. Your long experience as drunkards has made you, or may have made you, humbly alert to the cries of distress that comes from the lonely hearts of alcoholics everywhere. Keep ever in mind the admission you made that on that day of your profession in AA, namely that you were powerless and that it was only with your willingness to turn your life and will into my keeping that that relief came to you. My sponsor gave me this many years ago. I've had this now like 14 years. And I absolutely love this, and I always keep it in my special big print, big book. And this book has traveled with me 13 of the 14 years I've been sober. And all it does is just collect signatures, kind of like that, just like that. So it's been with me a long, long time. Oh, real quick, you guys are going to love this. You're going to love this. You guys know that my sober date is February 7th, 2006. So when I was making 3 years sober, Soberman's wife, Mrs. Soberman, gave me this letter, and I've had it ever since I was 3 years sober. So I figured you guys might like this. And remember, in Alcoholics Anonymous, if you hear the term sobriety birthday, that's what everybody else calls a sobriety anniversary or your sober date. We call it a sobriety birthday. So if you ever hear the term sobriety birthday, that's the day you got sober. Okay. So my sober date or sobriety birthday is February 7th, 2006. So on February 7th, 2010, Mrs. Soberman gave me this. Happy birthday, Prince Magnum. I'm so proud of you and what you have accomplished. You've had to overcome a lot of obstacles during this time, but I love you. You have made it. I love you, Prince Magnum, and I hope you don't get upset when I holler at you and stuff. Your family and I treat you the same as our kids. I know that you're not a kid, but you get the same sentiment as one of my own. Congratulations and keep up the fight. And remember, if you ever need anything, I'm always a call away. And that was from Mrs. Soberman back when I was when I made 3 years sober, and I've kept this letter all these years. Every sobriety birthday that I get, I'll call up Soberman and I'll say, is Mrs. Soberman nearby? And I'll actually read this letter back to her to let her know that I've had this letter all these years. And she's like, I never thought you would have kept it that long. I even, every year you read that back to me and I always forget, that you have it. Yeah, she's a very, very sweet woman. She as a matter of fact, this is one of the beauties of what sobriety has given me, and you guys are going to laugh about this. I used to play paintball a lot, and I had a mishap where one day I was walking in front of this one of my teammates, and he accidentally fired his paintball marker gun, and it struck me right in the temple. And I was maybe at best 5 feet away. It was a complete accident, freak accident, and I took a concussion from it, and it messed me up to the point where I could not get out of bed the next day. I laid in bed. I was just gone. Yeah, it messed me up bad. Everyone's like, "Oh, you should have went to the hospital." There is nothing they could do for a concussion. You just gotta lay down, take it easy, and you just gotta. And sober man came over. He checked on me and everything. Came over to the apartment, and he was very upset about it. Well, I went over later, like a couple of days later. I was okay. I was getting around and everything. I went over and I was sitting there, and Soberman and I were talking. Mrs. Soberman comes out of the back, and she was back there doing some cleaning or something. She comes out and she says, "Prince Magnum, I have a bone to pick with you." And I'm like, okay. I'm like, here we go. I had no idea. And she said, "What makes you think that playing paintball is perfectly okay?" And she then proceeded to chew me out for a half an hour. And then we get to the end of the half an hour. And she says, "And what do you have to say for yourself?" And I got, and that was as far as I got. And Mrs. Soberman yells, "There's nothing you could say in your defense." And she proceeded to chew me out for yet another half an hour. I felt like my mother was chewing me out, not a joke. And then later, a couple of years later, that's when I get that little letter that I've kept all these years. So if you it's one of those things. That's yes, and I get the same treatment as the rest of it. And it's the irony of it is they're not terribly much older than me, but yet Mrs. Soberman, treats me just like one of the family. And they've been, once all of this pandemic stuff is over, I'm supposed to go out there. They live in Branson, Missouri. So I'm supposed to go out there. We're going to hang out and everything. We're going to hang out, and that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And that's just one of those amazing things that, when she got one look at me when I first got sober, she's like, "This guy's bizarre, very strange." And now today she's like, "That's just Prince Magnum. We wouldn't have him any other way. That's Prince Magnum." I remember specifically when I was going, we were talking about how Soberman has had a lot of sponsees over the years, a lot of them. And I was few and the proud that actually went through all 12 steps. It actually has years and years of sobriety. I'm one of the few. That's just the nature of the beast. And Mrs. Overman was talking about how so many, jerked around with their fourth step. And I said, well, I jerked around with my fourth step. She's like, wait a minute, where was I on this one? She's like, because I only remember you. Okay, that's a good question. That's a good question. Here on YouTube, because I talk about Alcoholics Anonymous as a respect to Alcoholics Anonymous, I only use my YouTube name. Now, if you were to go, outside of YouTube, you call me by my real name, okay? And I don't normally do this, but my real name is actually Dennis, okay? But outside, just kind of outside of YouTube, I strictly, basically when I'm on YouTube and I'm on camera, I'm Prince Magnum. When I'm on YouTube, I'm Prince Magnum. Okay. Prince being my royal title, Magnum being the name, Hey, what's going on? Blood Dragoon. Everyone gets that wrong. Everybody gets that wrong, but I actually read close enough. Yes, that's Blood Dragoon. And let me tell you all, very nice guy. Absolutely fantastic gentleman. I would love to actually hang out with him too sometime. There's a lot of you that we all need to get together and hang out sometime. Gosh darn it. We need to get together and hang out. Right. Well, it's good to see you, Blood Dragoon. We're actually in here. We're talking about sobriety. Just bringing, even if you're not alcoholic, there's positive vibes within Alcoholics Anonymous that I love sharing with the world. As a matter of fact, I've been reading some different stuff that I've kind of picked up over the years, and just sharing that positive vibe. Right, everyone gets that wrong. Dragoon. And I oftentimes, whenever I'm in his stream, when I'm in one of his streams, I like to tease him. I haven't done it in a little while, but I like to tease him and ask him if he's going to get his black powder Colt Dragoon revolver. You want the Generation 3? That's actually the best of the Colt Dragoons, and you want it in 44 caliber. I think Uberti makes one, but giving away knowledge here, and yeah. I keep teasing him, saying he needs to get one because that's his gun. That's his pistol. That's his pistol all the way. I'm telling you. So yeah, we've been talking about some inspirational stuff, and sharing out some of my favorite, sharing out some different things that I've picked up over the years. The first when I took this book with me to my very first AA convention, it was at Five Corners Convention in Sykeston, and it's probably one of the last truly free AA conventions left in the world. They have managed, just on donations alone, where you do not have to do a registration fee, and what they do is it's usually a 2-day event. And the first day, like a 2.5-day event. And the countdown is phenomenal. And if you guys don't know what the sober countdown is, they start with people that has something like, got X amount of, they start at the top, who has 50 plus years of sobriety. And every once in a while, there's usually a couple people that'll raise their hand. Well, I was at the first time I went to the Five Corners Convention, they had the countdown. And the first, Chairman, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. You go get some rest and we'll catch you in one of the next lives. All right, my man. Thank you for being here. And sometime here in the near future, Chairman, I want to do something special for you. You're going to love it. Okay. I won't tell you no more, but I got something special in mind for you. All right. Now, so here's how the countdown works. Basically, they start with the, who has 50 plus years. And when they started with that, they said who has 50 plus years, and there was two people that raised their hands, and I forget exactly how many years they had, but they got sober like in 1940. This is not a joke. And then the person right behind him got sober in 1941. So they were around when AA was really young. And AA got its start back in 1936. So, which that reminds me that Alcoholics Anonymous is slowly creeping up on 100 years of existence. That's pretty awesome. But they started, so they were like around when this was in its first edition, and we're now in the fourth edition. So both of them they were in wheelchairs and really couldn't stand. We stood for them and applauded them. Standing ovation for these guys. And as a matter of fact, the guy who had got sober in 1940 and the one that got was the sponsor for the guy who got sober in 1941. I imagine they've got some stories to tell. They're probably gone, but man, I'm sure they had some amazing stories, some powerful stories to talk about. So, and then it started counting down. And at that time, I was, at that time I was a year sober. And it started counting down. And when it got down to, at that time, sober man was like 16 years sober. And that's been a long time ago. My God. Yeah. He'd been sober like 16 years at that time. And I'm like, get up, man, get up. He's like, he's stood up and everyone's applauding. And I'm hooping and hollering for my sponsor. Well, then it gets down to that 1 year mark. And it's my turn to stand up. 1 year, and I stood up. Sober man started beating on his chair. I'm telling you, he could be heard over that entire auditorium because of how hard he was just going berserk over the fact that his sponsee had gotten, had made a year. And that was an awesome convention, man. And, we like to do, with AA, where I'm at, we like to do the Lord's Prayer at the end of our meetings. Well, they were doing them in those meetings. And that's just kind of something that AA just kind of picks stuff up. Like we use the Serenity Prayer, and Bill W. actually got that out of an obituary. And he trimmed it down where it was easier for us to remember. And that's where he got it from. He actually contacted the family and say, can I use this? And told them who he was. And they're like, yeah, by all means, so that's how the Serenity Prayer came in. So we, to kind of, that, if you will, AA is now many religions, but unfortunately, that was what they had to use at that one time is the Lord's Prayer. So it's what a lot of people know. But if you go out west, oh, well, thank you for letting me run in the background. I appreciate that. It means the world to me. that's what so with that being said, we use the Lord's Prayer at the end. Now if you go out somewhere, like go out west, they usually just do the Serenity Prayer at the beginning and at the end, and which just goes to show that Alcoholics Anonymous is Alcoholics Anonymous. It doesn't matter what prayer you do at the beginning and what prayer you do at the end. All that matters is what's in between. That's really all that matters. And easy, I know how perverted some of you are. Sick puppies. All right. Yeah. So now that we've talked about that, when I was in that convention for the first time, and we all stood up to do the Lord's Prayer, Sober Man had suggested that I stop and listen for a few moments, because hearing that many people do the last prayer would be so awe-inspiring. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And right in the middle of one of them, I stopped and just listened, and I was blown away by that many people coming together. It was like over 400 in that convention. It's not a huge convention, but it was a good sized one. But that many people coming together, all about sobriety, trying to help one another stay sober. I mean, it was huge. It was just inspiring. And I mean, there was nothing like that moment. And I was blown away. And so it was huge for me. There was 1 year sober, this one person amongst several that, and it was just, I can't describe it. I really can't. It's inspiring. Let's just say that. It made me very grateful to be sober and to be amongst so many people. It was huge. So now that I've talked about that, I actually would go up, and I wasn't the only one who did this, but I would go up to the speakers during that first convention, and I would hand them my big book and say, "Would you sign my big book?" And go up, hand them, this one. So from my very first AA convention, I had people signing, and there was this right there is the very first person who, at an AA convention who signed this. And she was, while she was signing my book, she says, you look really, really young. And, I want to ask you, how long have you been sober? And I said, I've been sober just a little over a year. And she's like, how old are you? And at that time I was 27. Well, thank you for being in the streams. I appreciate you being there, Hayes. I'm going to say it again. Okay. I need all of you. Okay. I am such a selfish person that I need not just the people in Alcoholics Anonymous and not just the people in Narcotics Anonymous. I need all of you too out there in the world. I am so selfish that I need over 1,000 of you to help me stay sober. That's how selfish this alcoholic is, because even after 14 years of continuous sobriety, I'm still trying to save my own life, okay? That should tell you guys that even if you're telling me that I'm inspiring, you guys are just as inspiring, because I still need you all. Okay, if that's any indication how alcoholism is, it is still in some ways a life and death situation for me. Okay, and I'm going to tell you, in AA they say the further away you get from your last drink, the closer you are to your next one. So the fact that any of us get extended periods of time in sobriety is a miracle. And that's why you can hear me say, don't you ever let anything happen to you, Hades. We need, I'm telling you, I need y'all. Y'all are important to me. And again, I'm a blessed content creator because I have all of you behind me. You know, you guys are the Maverick Nation. Okay. And, you know, here we are in the middle of a global pandemic. And I'm still sitting here saying that this morning I had a miracle happen to me. I woke up today and found it not necessary to take a drink. And any day that happens is still a miracle. Okay. So the fact that I'm able to stay sober when all this scary stuff is going on all around us, I can still find a reason to stay sober. That's what it's all about. That we continue to find that one more reason to not pick up a drink. Okay. And, you know, I'll say it again. I don't necessarily believe that all of you know my higher power, but I believe that every last one of you are at least acquainted with my higher power. Because my higher power does not speak to me. Yeah. I tell everybody, Bruce Willis should not have been in the Die Hard movies. It should have been me. But anyhow, that's just me being me, you guys are amazing. I can't say enough good about y'all. So you guys continue to help me stay sober. Members of Alcoholics Anonymous continue to help me stay sober. And what's that? Think different. What's that? I know what he's going to say. I'm waiting for it. I'm so waiting for it because I know what he's going to say. And I'm already excited to see him say it. Because I know what he's going to say. You guys are awesome. Think Different is actually one of the Maverick members of the Maverick Nation from not too far away from where I live. He's one of the locals that has helped boost the Prince Magnum channel. For those that do not know, the Prince Magnum channel is practically a grassroots movement in the middle of Missouri. Okay, United States, Missouri, United States, like a little bitty small town. Most people can't even find it on a map. And more or less, we are a grassroots movement, small town movement, And a lot of people down here know exactly who I am. Even if they've never heard of the Prince Magnum channel, for some odd reason, they know my car. Project Spirit, they seem to know that car pretty well. I'm trying to figure. Anyhow, those Mavericks are everywhere, aren't they? No, they used to be. Anyhow, every once in a while, Princess Faye is like, for some odd reason, she's like, you would be the one who has to get the dang car that everybody notices. I said, why? I said, those cars are everywhere. It's not unique. And she's like, used to be. You're not funny anymore. For the record, we know that I love doing the romance stuff. It's a beautiful day to be sober. That's what I was waiting for. I couldn't wait to see it. That's what's up. It is a beautiful day to be sober. Every day is a beautiful day to be sober. And, when I tell people that it's, that staying sober is, quite possibly the most important thing in the world for me, because without it, I would lose everything. Princess Faye would run off with a circus clown, and I probably would crash Project Spirit. Nobody at work would want to work with me, and they, throw me out the door. How could I face any of you guys? Things like that. Sober man would kick the tar out of me. Actually, lots of people would kick the tar out of me if I started in again. Man, the line would form and start going around the block a few dozen times. That'd be the biggest butt kicking party you ever seen. Think Different would show up to kick my butt. And he'd do it to the song Kung Fu Fighting by by Carl Douglas. That's actually a classic joke I've been telling for years. And that's just, and why would everyone be that upset? Because you all care that much about my sobriety. And, again, that's one of the blessings that has been bestowed upon me for just staying sober, even if it's just for today. Of course, there's been a lot of just for todays for a little while now, Can't believe it, And August the 7th, I'm going to be turning 41 years old. Man, I've gotten old in sobriety. I've gotten old on y'all. Doggone. I'm getting to be an old man, And one of the other blessings that sobriety has bestowed upon me is where I can do a joke like this just because I know Sean's dying for me to do it, because we're here in the office. And if I didn't do the joke, he would be very upset. Sean. All right, Sean. I got to do it for you because, again, it's one of the blessings of sobriety, If y'all are not familiar with this is actually a camera stand that I actually made myself. Cut down the tree and made this particular camera stand because some of the cameras that I use, there's no real mounts for, because the ones that I use are actual dash cams for like Project Spirit and Project Lena. So they're good cameras, but I wanted my own camera stand for them. And, because if they work really well, why don't I just, continue using them for everything, that I film? So it came, I'm like, well, since they don't make any stands, I'll make my own. So I cut down the tree, cut out the block, the part of the tree that I wanted for it. And I basically, cut out this groove for it. And then to make sure that the lens would sit right here, I had to kind of carve this spot out. And how I did that was I took this half moon shaped file.
Oh, God.
I took this half moon shaped file just like this and it basically placed it right here and just kind of moved it back and forth until I cut this piece out with this file. So evidently I'm really good at filing, and maybe I should try my luck at being a secretary. Sean's favorite joke. That's the other running gag here on the channel. Princess May comes in to say something and she sees what I'm doing. She's like, oh God, and walks off. she's now. She's like, it was funny the first couple of times. After that, it wore out. I'm hoping Blood Dragoon's in here to hear that. I don't think he's heard that one yet. One of the great things about being sober is all the fun we have. The automated system went berserk on me. That's okay. I can make some adjustments, put it back up, and fool the automated system. Don't worry about it. We got this. Don't worry about it. And then I'll go ahead and work on number 8 today, because right now, Gotons, thank you for being here with me. I appreciate you. All right. Again, I'm very blessed to have all of you in my, in not only in my live streams, but to have you all with me, giving me those positive vibes to help me stay sober. Thank you, Gotons. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you all. That's what it's all about. These positive vibes that we all pass on to each other, and we all build each other up. That's the same thing that we do in Alcoholics Anonymous. And there's actually an old timer. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but one of the things he actually says that I think you all will appreciate, he actually says in meetings, he says, hey, Gamerin, man, I was hoping you'd be here tonight. I was hoping you'd be here. There you go. There you go. All the way across the pond, speak of the devil and he shall appear. No, Gamerin, you are one of the nicest guys I know. I've been checking out a lot of your new videos. I love them, man. Fantastic, fantastic. I don't think you give yourself enough credit for how good you really are. I'm telling you, you're good. You just haven't been noticed yet. Okay, you are really, really phenomenal, and I've been enjoying your stuff so much and been watching it, and I have a short attention span, and they're just long enough for shiny squirrel, for me to deal with. It's just one of them things, and I was hoping you would show up, Gamerin, because I've been wanting to actually take like one of your videos, and there's a little something that I can actually do, and I wanted to have some fun with one of your with like a couple of your Crocs World videos, but I wanted to ask you before I did it, because I think it would, you don't give yourself enough credit for how good you really are at doing content. So I thought I would have, if basically I want to promote you a little bit, and I wanted your permission to use some of your stuff. I think it's going to be fun. But anyhow, so where was I? Told you, shiny squirrel. Get going, man. I get going. Again, you guys are awesome. I'm very fortunate that all of you are here with me tonight. Normally, man, see, there it is. There it is. We're all here. We're all having a good time. Again, I got y'all behind me. We are. All we need is my little sister to come in here and give me some grief, which she's been complaining. She's not been getting it. I'm going to have to start telling her, remember, sis, 7 o'clock every night, unless something weird comes up. And then I put it on my community tab. Get the Discord. Gamerin, you missed it. Yeah. Oh no, we did the filing. We'll do it again. I'll do it again just for. Man, we're all golden. We're all golden, Man, we are golden, You guys know I love y'all. I think the world of every last one of you out there. That's right. You guys are, all of you are important to me, And here, real quick. Sean, you ornery cuss. All righty. So all right, just for you, Gamerin, we're going to do it again. All right. Y'all know about the camera stand. How I had to carve it out. Thank you, Gamerin. I appreciate that. All right. Basically, I had to carve this piece out to hold, my camera that I use as a dash cam, because there's no stands for it. Well, to get the spot where the lens sits, I use this file right here, laid it down right like this, and worked it back and forth. So again, I must be really good at filing. So maybe I should try my luck at being a secretary. Oh my God. I'm hoping Princess Faye doesn't come in here and beat me for the telling the joke again. Third Gen 83, welcome to live. You guys, again, if you've all not checked it. Oh my gosh, Princess Faye hates that joke now. Oh man. And again, that's just one of those things that, sobriety has given me. It's given me my sense of humor back. I used to have I used to have a really dark sense of humor. I mean, really dark. Let's see. I used to trying to think of some of the dark jokes I used to tell. Well, I used to have of what is considered cheating and what isn't. And every time I try to tell those jokes now, they're not as funny to me now as they were back then. But Princess Faye doesn't like those jokes, so I'm not allowed to tell. Oh, you liked? Oh, thank you, appreciate you. You know. And so she doesn't like me telling those jokes for some odd reason. So I don't tell them very often. But sometime when she's not around, I'll tell you those old jokes. What's cheating and wasn't. What is it? Let me put it to you like this: if you try it, any of these, and it gets the crap kicked out, you get the crap kicked out of you. It's not my fault. It was a joke. But anyhow, but that gives you an indication of what the jokes, and today I tell little goofy jokes like that. I still have a few dark ones. I still have a few dark jokes, but I don't tell very many dark jokes like I used to. But that's just one of the blessings that that sobriety has given me, is I guess a better sense of humor, Let's see, where was I? Told you, shiny squirrel. Oh man, we got people all around the world here on the live. We are having a blast. Again, I'm very blessed to have all of you here with me today, and I even I released it, but YouTube actually took it down, and they said that it might have been something with the automated system, because the way I did it may have screwed with the automated system. So I'm going to have to reload it, but what I'm going to do is reload it ever so slightly different and see if that should fool the automated system, okay? But Aircraft Remover was out the same, like 20 minutes right after Aircraft Remover 6, okay? And then we're gonna have, so basically I'm gonna release 7 again, but slightly modified. And then Aircraft Remover 8, I got something really cool for those of you who like Star Trek, okay? I got another really good one. And it's probably going to be called Aircraft Remover 8 Extra Strength. So I'll just leave it at, I'll let you guys all ponder what is, what's this one about. And so, and Gamer, you talked about, me getting blasted. I've got one that what initially was going to be the finale of Aircraft Remover is going to end up being like is going to be one that I just throw in there now. Actually, I already had this idea what I'm going to do, because I can only do so much with editing, but I'm pretty sure that I can, what I will do is basically for the finale of the Aircraft Remover series is I know how to take and when I do editing, I can actually make it look like the camera cuts away and maybe I explode, and I know how to do that sort of editing. But I'll basically say it's like Aircraft Remover, the finale, the can pointed the wrong, or something like aircraft remover. Careful where you point that. It'll be something to that effect. But we'll, as long as you guys are somewhat enjoying aircraft remover, we're going to keep the series going. We could pretty well just about keep. Boom! Screw you, Atari. I've got aircraft remover. I got more boom than Atari. Yep. That Hayes, I've got to keep it going. Hayes, there is literally on my channel, if you go and look for playlist, Space Station Rebellion. Actually, aircraft remover works on that too. I won't tell you no more. You know what? Now that might actually have to be aircraft remover. Sean, you ornery ass. Oh my gosh. No, literally, this is what this is the, oh, we're already up to what? It's 7 now? 7 now? Aircraft remover. This series just keeps on going. Yeah, ironically enough, YouTube took down aircraft remover 7. So I know how to mess with them a little bit. Of course, if they take this one down, you know what? I already figured out how I'm gonna get back at them for it. Aircraft. You guys loving that series? There's now a playlist for air. So if you've missed any previous air, for those that missed previous aircraft remover videos, if you go into the Prince Magnum channel, the big one, my playlist are, there is literally a playlist for aircraft remover, and it's every one that I have that's currently up, and the series just keeps on and coming. And we've been having a lot of fun with it too. Shoot, one of my bosses at work, he always has me send the link to him as soon as it's up. He's not subscribed. She probably will, John. Yeah, so don't worry, Crystal. We're gonna put a new, a slightly modified version of aircraft. That series keeps on giving. Well, what was Gamer? What was it? You finally stopped on the very original one at like 8 times. You watched it 8 times in a row because you just couldn't stop laughing at it. No, I honestly, I figured it would get a few laughs. I figured that it would get a few laughs and that sort of thing. But I didn't expect this. I didn't expect this. And little did I know that it would be this popular on my channel. I mean, the last I looked, the original one, the original aircraft remover, and well, I know you said what was it, aircraft remover 5. Different. That's not what I expected. That's not. God, oh man. Hey, what's going on? Mr. Sketch Scars himself, Jammin' John of Sketch Squad TV, here in the house of the Maverick Nation, here on the Prince Magnum channel. Welcome, brother, to the live stream. We were just having a lot of laughs about the aircraft remover series, how we want to keep it going. And real quick, this is the. Don't worry, the cap is on, so we're safe. No satellites to take out or anything, starships. But this is the actual can that I used. And for those that don't know how the aircraft remover series, he loves aircraft remover too. How the series got started was when we did the. Where this got started was when we were doing the cannon. Okay, when we did the taillight panel for Project Spirit, and you know how the taillight panel is now flat, the satin black, and I knew that we needed a way to remove the paint, and we didn't have, power tool. I didn't have an angle grinder, so I'm like, what would be the cheapest way to do it and still get down to the bare metal so we could take care of all the surface rust? And I'm like, I got some aircraft remover because it's a paint stripper, and evidently it works on the tough stuff. Well, literally, it's like for the toughest finishes. And works in 10 minutes. So, it was like, and I'm reading the label as we're spraying this on Project Spirit's taillight panel, and I'm reading the label, aircraft remover. In my 80s mind, my 80s childlike mind that watched one too many 80s action movies went, I got it. And then, I started looking around for like a helicopter exploding and stuff, and that's where the original aircraft remover was. So the first time it was actually seen here on the Prince Magnum channel was right at the tail end of the video for that whole thing on the taillight panel. And basically and Jammin' John's very familiar because he's watched me edit a lot of videos, and what he's thank you. And what Pioneer, wow. What Jammin' John noticed that I like to do, basically, if you watch the whole video all the way to the end, there's usually something funny at the tail end. It's like just kind of like a surprise. It's like, what the heck? It's almost like you're watching something totally different. And for the longest time, my Build-A-Bear, known as Ace, I would kind of, put in like a different voice. And like like the one video I was just editing today at the tail end, it has Macho Man Randy Savage's voice saying, wow, man, freak out, and oh, I appreciate you, Crystal Tear, for being here with me. Again, I am the most blessed content creator in the world. I have all of you behind me. You guys help with the inspiration. Let me say right now, I can't take full credit for aircraft remover, becoming a series, because what happened was Princess Faye was, when I showed her, I'm sitting there laughing, because she had no idea. She was the one holding the camera, and she seen me, I'll be extra careful, okay? Do that whole thing, aircraft remover, and then, and when I did that, she had no idea. And then we kind of had I actually had to clip out what was after it because it didn't work, but my editing skills, I literally just cut out that part and, did where it just snaps into the next part. So that's where you get the whole, where it fades in and hear me say, aircraft remover, I act like I spray it, and then, you get whatever it is that explodes or falls down on fire or flies apart or whatever. Um, and that's where it all, and when she's seen that, she couldn't laugh. She's like, that's clever. That is really clever. And I'm like, but it was meant to be. She's like, I can't really laugh. I'm actually really surprised because how you did it. It looked like, you know, she's like, she's like, it's amazing how you did that. And I said, okay, well, awesome. And so from there, that's where, then I put, she's like, this needs to be a standalone video. So I put that up as a standalone, and then you guys loved it so much. It's like, well, let's do another one. And it's just kept going. So like I said, technically we're up to what, eight now? Oh my gosh. And the hits just keep on coming. That's one of the beauties of, this little series. And one of the guys at work said, you can feasibly just loop yourself in to any video, season one. He's like, you can literally just loop yourself in to any situation and blow something up that way, couldn't you? I said, yeah, that's the whole point. Yes, honey.
That's a heck of a context conversation to cut into.
Someone was asking about aircraft remover.
Oh, I just want to let you know I'm getting ready to mop the floor, so if you come out, which you shouldn't because you're doing your thing. I also sent you the money.
Okay, honey.
I also sent Sissy 20 for her birthday.
Okay.
So that she can get a game.
Okay.
Still no word from brother.
Okay.
Sorry to bother you.
Okay.
Love you.
I love you.
I love you.
I got my can of aircraft remover. No, Crystal Tear. You remember Crystal Teardrop, right? Yeah. She's been laughing herself to death at the aircraft remover series.
Good. I'm glad they're enjoying it.
Yep. Everybody's been. She's like, she's been thanking me for making everybody laugh, and she just put in there, "Alien invasions, beware! We have this, man." Huh? Right. Hang on a sec. Crystal, you've been in here enough, so we're just going to make it happen. We're just going to make this a happen.
Every subscriber's going to be a moderator.
You're dang right. All right. Crystal Teardrop, if you would drop some sort of comment in the chat, something, whatever, obviously within reason, you will notice a slight change in the color of the text on your name, and you'll notice a little icon right next to it. I think you know what happened. Thank you for being here. There you go. So there we go. We made that nice little change. Thank you, Crystal, for being here with us today. UFOs are not aircraft proof. That's right. We got. Don't worry. The safety's on. The safety's on. That's right. You keep the gremlins of YouTube trolls at bay. We don't like gremlins. We don't like gremlins and trolls messing around in our in our positive streams. Where we try to build each other up and bring that positive vibe that Alcoholics Anonymous has given to me. That I can pass on to all of you. That's right. We got to, and even if the riffraff does show up, it's all right if they show up. We just don't want them, we just don't want them trying to wreck our party. We're here trying to build each other up. There's a whole world right outside the door. That's right. Thank you, Crystal. There's a whole world right outside that door. I could go out there and there's a million people out there tell me what I'm doing wrong. I go to Alcoholics Anonymous and I come here to talk to all of you to hear what I'm doing right. Because, if I keep hearing more what I'm doing wrong, that's just one more thing in the bag. So I need all of you to help keep me positive, to keep me upright, you know? And that's why I got, that's why I still need Alcoholics Anonymous. That's why I need all of you too, you know? This is still the real deal, you know? Just because I've been sober for 14 years doesn't mean I'm not an alcoholic. Poor Cameron. That's right. You've been under quarantine for a minute over there in the UK, haven't you? Oh, you poor man. And again, you all got to check out Cameron. He's well, you be careful, Crystal. Thank you for being here for me. Thank you for coming into the live and hanging out with us and picking up all those picking up the positive vibes and sending it back to us. You know, thank you. Thank you for being here with us. Ah, Cameron, I'm sorry. You know, but you've been putting out some really awesome content and I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying it. You know, again, oh, my pleasure to give laughs out to you. It's always a pleasure to make someone laugh. Let me tell you all, one of the most important things that I have learned in sobriety, if I just help only one person in that day, then that day was not was not wasted. Okay. Because that one person can go out and help so many other people. So even that one person that you helped, you don't know how many people you're going to help indirectly that way, by sending, so if I help somebody today with a laugh or, do something to kind of help build build their spirits up, man, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, And again, I'm blessed to have all of you behind me, So thank you, Crystal, for being here with me and helping me celebrate sobriety and celebrate life, because that's what I want us all to do, is to celebrate life, and especially in these dark times. And of course, poor Gamer, and he's been locked indoors for about 4 weeks now. And but he's been putting out some really awesome content. You guys if you guys get a chance, sneak over and see what he's got to offer. And I mean, he does these neat little game reviews that's really neat on I think it's Sega Genesis. You've been doing a lot of that. I know I just seen Eternal Champions, and I've played that game. It's a lot of fun to play, but you got to know the move set. If you don't know the move set, you pretty well screwed. But yeah, it's a good game. I used to play it a lot at a friend's house. Long time ago. And for the record, Sega Genesis had a lot of sports games. Sega had a lot of sports games. I mean, good Lord. That was a lot of sports games. Played several different hockey games. The worst hockey game I ever played on the Sega Genesis, Brett Hall's hockey. They had it kind of like this weird isometric. I hated it. Horrible game. Horrible. Best one was NHL 95. Right? I used to love playing street hockey in the old neighborhood where I used to live, Circle Drive in Union, Missouri. And I used to play street hockey. And the kids in the neighborhood hated it whenever hated my slap shot. Yeah, what was so special about the NHL games for the Genesis was for the Genesis and the Super NES was the fact that you could trade players or add new players. It was pretty. Oh my gosh, yeah, I remember the mutant sports games. Mutant football was one of my favorites because I'd always bribe the ref. Yeah, I don't know, it's fun. I would bribe the ref, and then you had to plow out the ref because uh, just one of them things. All right, now I thought I'd do something also special in this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We played a lot of retro games. What was it? We played trying to think of it. Played WWF Raw for the Genesis, and then we did it on the 32X. Did played Top Gear for the Super NES. That was fun. That was fun. Took us a minute. And then we played a lot of lot of race car games. Yeah, yeah. We played with Danny Sullivan's Turbo Racing. That was fun. No, Danny Sullivan's Indy Heat. We played that one. Let's see, what was another one we did? Super Off Road. Ivan Sullivan's Super Off Road. That one was fun. We had a lot of fun. A lot of fun. All right, now I'm gonna. Yep, Indy Heat. Yep, that one was fun. That one's that's still up on the channel. So, all righty, real quick, I'm going to show you guys something that kind of has a dark story in my sobriety. And no, we didn't do Battletoads, but I know who does. T-Belly does Battletoads. He has Battletoad Thursday. No, we didn't get a chance to do Golden Axe, but should have. We did Batman for the NES and Batman Return of the Joker for the NES. And Jam and John got to see me beat Batman Return of the Joker. That was a tough game, wasn't it? Both of them were. Oh my gosh, those games are brutal. Brutal. But anyhow, I was going to show you guys this. There are yeah, we did. Yeah, Beavis and Butthead. All right. Right here is the coin that I got when I was 2 years sober. All right. Right. This is my 2-year sobriety coin. Thanks, brother. But being that this is a 2-year sobriety coin, like I said, I got this when I turned 2 years sober. Yeah, I want to see more of that one, Gamer, and I want to see you do more of that one. I need to make a playlist of it so we can follow it closely, but I want to see more of that. But yeah, where was I? Okay, 2-year sobriety coin. Sober Man gave this to me when I, obviously when I made 2 years sober, but he'd had this for a while. He actually gave this to a guy that back before I got sober, long before I got sober, it was back late 90s. And what ended up happening is this guy had become very special to Sober Man. And the guy just said, after he made 2 years sober, he decided to relapse. Well, when he did relapse, he didn't make it back. He ended up passing away. Well, the guy's wife turns around and gives all of the, her now deceased husband's stuff that Sober Man was sponsoring back to Sober Man. And in that stuff was this 2-year coin. This was his 2-year coin. Sober Man hung on to it all of these years. And then, of course, when I got sober in 2006, by the time I was like 5 months sober, he told me, he said, if you make 2 years sober, I already have your 2-year coin. Well, just before the 2-year marker, he told me the story behind this 2-year coin. That's how I know it. And then he gives it to me. Now, here's the irony of it. I have, yes. Well, hello there. What's going on?
A whole lot. I come to bring you a big 5 burner.
Sweet.
It's basically the exact one that I was looking at already. It's exactly what I wanted.
Okay, cool.
But we're gonna need your help.
Yes, well, let me finish this story up and I will be right there.
Okay, make make sure you tell them sorry for the
Yeah, I think they'll
short
understand.
ending.
No, that's perfectly. I think everyone will understand. We got a new stove. We got a new stove. So we get rid of that relic that keeps trying to either A, burn down the kitchen, or B, just plain doesn't work. So basically, cooking lives will get better. Ooh, yeah.
It's probably a little bit cleaner since
Yeah.
it's glass top. It'll be a lot
Yeah.
easier to clean.
Be a whole lot easier for cleaning and everything. So let me finish this story. Okay. All right. This here, basically, Sober Man gives it to me years later. Now, I'm now past 2 years sober, and yes, I know you like the cooking lives. um, basically, Sober Man, you know, I've given this coin away. Gamer, you're gonna get me killed. Maybe. I'm trying to talk her into letting me do it, but if not, I'll talk her into doing it. You'll get your cake, some way, somehow. But just remember, cake is a lie. Anyhow, all right. So I couldn't help that one. What ends up happening is I've tried to give away this coin since I've been sober. The only basically anybody who touches this 2-year coin relapses. And in some cases, they don't make it back. As a matter of fact, the last guy I was sponsoring, he only had 30 days. And I showed him this coin, this very same coin. He held it in his hand. 2 weeks later, he relapses and doesn't make it back because he's not with us anymore. So some people say that I need to throw this coin as far away as possible because it's probably cursed at this point. Because the only person who's ever held it and not relapsed is holding it right now. Nobody knows. Even my own father, who doesn't believe in stuff like that, he's like, there's a curse on that coin. He's like, because you're the only one who's been able to hold it and not relapse. And so, yeah, pretty spooky, huh? I mean, this is probably the darkest thing in my sobriety, honestly. You know. Yeah, and Sober Man. But he's the one who, yeah, he's the only one, you know, that's true. That's very true. But I have had it the longest. I've had it the longest. Everyone who's ever held it has relapsed in sobriety. Yeah, poor thing, different. He's like, keep that thing away from me. But yeah, something about it. Don't know. And I mean, I honestly don't think it's cursed. I think it's just something about a 2 years, you know. I've heard old timers in AA say that your second year, getting to your second year is probably the hardest. Just as hard as the first 30 days of sobriety, the first month of sobriety. But I do have, you could see all of them. I'd never picked up my 13-year and I haven't had a chance to pick up my 14-year, but I've got all the others. That's all of my 3-year, 4-year. My 5-year is really kind of a retro style. They don't make them like that anymore. They stopped years ago. As a matter of fact, on the back it says, rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. So that's 5-year. This is 6. This is 6-year. All done in Roman numerals. 7-year coin. This is year 8. My 6-year coin, was, trying to think. That was Vic that gave it to me. It wasn't Sober Man. And of course, 9-year, my 9-year coin. Number 10. Here's 11. And real quick, they don't do it like that anymore where it's got the AA in the middle. They don't do it like that anymore. And of course, this is 12. This is 12. Get a good look at it. About once a year, just before my sobriety birthday, I'll take them down and polish them up. Literally, I'll just take and soak them in a little bit of white distilled vinegar, and then polish them up as a reminder to keep polished in my sobriety. Here, real quick, when you look and you see the roughness inside, they don't do them like that anymore. So there's really a couple different styles, but most of them, yeah, or having the how in there, mothers, having how in the, they don't do them like that. Usually they're more like this now. They're just like that. And they got that kind of that rough texture in the middle. That's kind of how they are. And they got the Serenity Prayer on the back. This one's kind of got a little octagon, right there in the middle. It's not perfectly round, but that's kind of a style that went away a little while back. But most of the time you don't. But this one's the oldest one that I have. Even though it's a 5-year coin, it's the oldest one that I have because it's got Bill W. and Dr. Bob, the two co-founders of Alcoholics Anonymous, on it. And they don't, like I said, they don't make them like that. I don't know where how Sober Man got something this old. But yep. But yeah, the 2-year coin, darkest chapter. My 1 year I gave away, and the guy who ended up getting my 1 year decided to relapse. He's in prison now, ironically enough. I guess he wasn't done, he wasn't done yet, But I hope that he decides to get on the straight and narrow, everybody, every alcoholic and addict deserves their shot at the happiness that I get to enjoy. They all deserve it. All righty. So do y'all have fun? Do you feel good and positive? Do you get the vibes? You good? Because I got to go haul in a stove. And we're having the old one hauled off. That POS, sore subject. Trying to do an amazing cooking live. It was a great stream. I appreciate y'all being in here with me. You guys are amazing. Again, I'm one of the luckiest content creators in the world because I have all of you, the Maverick Nation, behind me. All right. Tomorrow, there's an excellent chance. Think different. You're awesome, man. All right. Tomorrow, there's an excellent chance that there will be some DIY car stuff tomorrow. If not, expect it Thursday. That's why we had to move Sober Talk up. So between Wednesday and Thursday, expect some work to be done on Project Lena. We're going to crack open and work on Project Lena. So I'll put it up on the Discord and on the community spot of the channel. So just kind of watch for all of that. We're probably going to have to go live earlier than usual, but the lives are going to be a whole lot longer than usual. So just kind of expect all of that. All right. So that brings us to our usual spot. No, just pads. We're going to do the rotors and all of that a little bit later because we got more to do. We're just doing the pads right now. Which it doesn't matter at this point, as long as we can get the dang back brakes to not, fall off the car or something. It's bad. You guys will see what I'm talking about when we go to take it apart. All right. So that brings us to our usual spot where because this is Sober Talk, y'all know that we say something a little bit different. All righty. And that is at day's end. I hope all of you need me as much as I need you guys. And as always, for every last one of you out there, if no one out there has told you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.